Welcome back to another episode of Humanity First. Today's going to be a little different.
A little different.
I'm excited, though.
No grace.
No grace. Well, I think so. Earlier this week, we decided to migrate everything over to Google because if you don't know, Google's has some really incredible tools. And we're using a lot of them to build our app, which is going to launch August 1. We have some beta testers out now, but we saw how good that code was, and we decided to migrate Grace to Gemini, Google. Yeah.
The Google platform is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it briefly, but we're a startup, had no experience, and decided to believe in ourselves and see where this was going to go. And it's been pretty awesome.
I think this last month we made a lot of progress. Like the first 5 months was figuring out where we were going because we literally started off an idea, didn't have anything built out. So it's nice to see that some direction now.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like every good idea starts with a conversation that then, I like to call it plant the seed. So you plant the seed and then it builds. And that's exactly, we planted the seed this was back in January when we were having the conversation.
Yeah.
And then it kind of came to fruition over the next few months. And then July has been really the first, I guess I want to say the first month that we've really dedicated the entire time to our app development.
Yeah.
How's that experience been for you?
It moves quickly. Because in a month's time, I was able to build, or we were able to build the initial app.
No, I would say the MVP was you.
But also remember we had started with a completely different app last month too.
True.
So it was all of June was spent building this certain app, then we pivoted and started from scratch on a new project. But just the fact that in the time span of a month, you can have a fully functional app. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Also, what Cesar's referring to in terms of, we had kind of pivoted, it's actually going to be, I think, a update, like a V2 that we're adding to our current app. So it's almost like we were one step ahead.
Yeah. We were one step ahead.
Yeah.
So eventually we will incorporate that previous app into this one as an extension.
Yeah.
Something.
We had the idea, but I think for anyone listening, if you're building a startup, you're going to have to be comfortable with trial and error, and you're going to have to be comfortable with a lot of failure and pivoting fast.
Yeah. I think it was a Y Combinator podcast I had seen where they said one of the biggest strengths to a startup compared to these solidified big tech companies is how quickly you can make changes and how quickly you can deploy things. That's your one biggest asset as a startup, as opposed to these bigger companies. And I've never worked in these huge corporate companies, so I don't know what the decision making looks like or how long that takes. But when it's just two people and we get to drive the direction of the company, it's a lot faster to pivot and make a decision and make a call.
Which we've done multiple times. We're like, are we really about to do this?
Yeah. And again, with AI, it helps out a ton because we can both be the developer, the marketer, the UX design. All of that can just be one person kind of now.
Yeah. I mean, literally, though, I think that's the power that speaks to the power of artificial intelligence. And you just said it. It took us I'm not going to say a month. It's taken us longer than a month, but the full build out of what we're doing really has been a month process. And that's because AI has streamlined so much of it, and it's allowed us to trial and error and continue to refine what we're trying to accomplish. But, to people that are about to, because AI is only just getting started. So anybody that is watching that is considering being an entrepreneur and using AI and starting a startup wherever, I would say pivot fast when you realize something's not going right or that you want it to kind of go a little differently. Make hard decisions, follow your gut, follow your intuition, be authentic to who you are, and run lean and small.
Yeah, I think finding your mission, your goal is key. especially because we just started out with an idea, and we had kind of an idea, but we didn't really have any direction of how we didn't have any solid direction of how we were gonna execute that idea.
I think our common denominator from the day one was we want to help people. We didn't really know what that path, that direction looked like. We knew from the experience working with an AI startup, not ours, the previous company, that this was not a technology that we've seen before, and a lot of people were going to be affected by it. So our mission from literally the start, and it's even in our original business plan, is how can we help people have access, knowledge, resources. And again, we didn't know what that process was going to look like. Now we do. Now the world is going to see what we've created, and it's going to help a lot of people. But go into, to Cesar's point, you got to have a mission, you got to have a vision. You need to know who you are, and you need to know what makes you happy, and then follow that path. Because if you're following everyone else's goals and their dreams and their ideas, it's only going to hurt you and put you behind. And I'm going to speak for myself, but I feel like I'm speaking for both of us. We're both creating something that we're passionate about and we care about. So while we are working, it doesn't necessarily feel like we come in every day and work. It feels like, hey, we're problem solving. We're two friends figuring this out, and we just so happen to be co-founders of this company.
I mean, there's definitely days where it feels like work to me.
Heard loud and clear. And same. Because it is a lot of hard work.
Well, there's also like a lot of pressure, right? Because like everything moves so fast. And I say developing an app in a month is quick. For some people, they might be laughing because they're already experienced, and they're like, I could build an app in like 3 days without AI. And I'm like, okay, but you also have like a couple of years of experience over us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about as somebody that didn't have any developer experience, had zero experience building a fully functional, like scalable enterprise level app within a month's time. That's like a big deal for us.
I mean, we had no tech experience. Then we obtained some tech experience, understood more of the GPU, the deeper tech, what AI is ran on, which is GPU, and you need to know it. It affects a lot of, it's going to have a major impact. These data centers that you're seeing, they're going to have a impact on our climate.
Especially here in Atlanta, right?
Atlanta's the number 2, Georgia's the number 2 state in the nation for data center development.
Yeah.
And that is a ton of energy exertion. That is a ton of impact on our climate.
Yeah.
And we must understand what the power of a GPU, this processor, so that we can start mitigating the impacts it's going to have and the climate impact that it's going to have. And thankfully, we worked for a company that actually optimized the GPU, allowing it to be more efficient and not so wasteful, which is currently happening right now. And I think that's important. People need to realize what that is. Sorry for that little tangent. It is important. It is relevant, and you need to understand it. But back to what you were saying, we had a little bit of experience, and then we decided to run with it and believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It's been fun, right? It's fun. It's a lot of problem solving. But no, yeah, it's a lot of learning.
It is a lot of learning.
It's a lot of learning. AI is like really powerful. It's really strong, but you have to learn. You have to know how to use it, and understand that it's not perfect. Understand where it fails, so that you make sure you're strong in those areas.
Well, and you said problem solving is pretty much what we're doing all day, and it's very indicative of what's going to happen in the futures, because we're going to see an upskill and a relearning, if you will, for these careers and new careers that are being paved or created. People are about to have to start problem solving a lot. And I will say, it's been a lot of fun. We spend most of our day problem solving, and it's learning, and it's understanding what this technology is actually capable of doing, which has been even more of a driving factor for us to be consistent, because it's actually not been the most easiest of processes to build this app and also film this podcast.
Yeah.
But we're doing our best to stay consistent.
Yeah. I will say, like, at least for me, the biggest time consuming part, it's not the actual coding, right? Because the LLMs are already good at coding. They can do the code.
Shout out Anthropic.
It's Claude Code's amazing. It's figuring out like how to instruct the model to code what you want it to code properly.
It's communicating.
But like you still have to understand how like the actual building of the back end of an app works in order to instruct the model properly to build the code out to work with your whatever tech stack you're using. So I think most of my time actually went into actually learning the Google Cloud platform and like Firebase and all that, and figuring all that out so that I could properly instruct the model and figure out why my app was failing. Can't tell you how many days I've spent with my app failing on a certain function or feature.
Let's talk about last week.
It was all due to like just like I am permissions and like Google Cloud.
Let's talk about last week. Literally, y'all. Okay, so I kid you not. This speaks to alignment, and by now, if you've watched some of the episodes, you know that I'm big into astrology and numerology and alignment. I kid you not. Last week, Cesar and I continued to have failure after failure after failure
on the same problem.
On the same problem in a different context.
Of trying to figure out the same thing.
It was, I'm not going to say, I don't know. I'm going to use my words carefully, cast my spells accordingly. But it was certainly a learning lesson.
Oh, yeah.
It was certainly a learning lesson. And it made both of us realize, wow, we've got to take a step back because we were just talking about communication. Mm-hmm. The truth is, understanding how to communicate effectively and properly with the Gemini CLI or the developer kit from whatever program you're going to use to help create your app or whatever you're developing, you've got to understand how to communicate. One of the reasons that we were not, I want to say maybe one of the reasons that we were having so many issues last week is we realized we were not communicating effectively every day. Normally we have our meetings in the morning and our end of day meetings, and then Wednesday we have our touch point for an hour. We didn't have any of that last week. And Cesar's running our MVP. He's created our MVP was completely developed by him. And so we started testing this week with some beta testers. So there was that added pressure. And then I'm working on another part of that project, and I was getting failed training jobs consistently. I think it was like 22. And then I kid you not, on July 14th, you got your problem resolved, and an hour later, I got my first completed training job successfully. Executed. And this week has been, I'm not gonna say flawless, but we've certainly had a
lot of progress this week. Yeah,
we communicated more this week. Which, off topic, taking a little switch, talking about communication, because we were talking about this yesterday on our walk. Humans don't know how to communicate effectively. And I think AI is going to help humanity.
Do you think it's going to help it, or do you think it's going to make it worse?
Okay. My thought is there's a level of emotional intelligence required to communicate effectively. There's also a degree of authenticity and vulnerability that a human has to be willing to present to other humans to effectively communicate. AI forces you to sit in your mind, figure out what the problem is, and then communicate that effectively. And if you don't effectively communicate it, then you're going to get a wrong answer, or it's going to resolve something, but it's not going to fix it. Or if you're designing, it may not look how you want it to look because you're not effectively communicating. And so we were on our walk yesterday, and I've, over the last 2 weeks, have been experimenting with something. And I noticed over the last year, something that's really bothered me is that I feel like I'm perceived pretty quickly, or there's assumptions made about me when I walk around that I don't know. Everyone makes assumptions. We're all humans. But I wanted to figure out how could I communicate with another human to make it more of a neutral, like we can smile at each other. This doesn't have to be weird when we walk by, whatever, on a trail or out in the grocery store. So whenever we make eye contact, because humans struggle with making eye contact, I throw a peace sign. And I'm like, immediately, like a little alien, I come in peace. I have noticed 100%. I'm not even joking. I do. It's real. But I've noticed 100% of the time, maybe 99, maybe not 100. Nothing's perfect. It neutralizes. People take down their guard immediately and they smile, they wave, they want to have a conversation. And I've realized humans have not been effectively communicating for decades. And now we're in a position where if we don't communicate and come together and figure this out, we are going to be we're going to have some major growing pains. So I do want to encourage people, if you moving forward, if you're watching this, throw up a peace sign to people and see just how,
they just brought something something that I had noticed a while ago is that do you feel like this lack of communication, is it something that is kind of coached into us as we grow up? Because I remember when I used to work at a research lab with children, and even just when I take my own nieces and nephews out to like the park and stuff, like kids are very good at just engaging with each other completely. There'll be complete strangers. They'll meet on the playground. Within like 2 seconds, they're playing, they're laughing, they're talking to each other. And I feel like as you get older, that happens less and less and less. And you get more and more used to just speaking with like that small, close group of people that you know, right? So I feel like it's something that's like taught over time within our community to like engage less and less with strangers.
We're conditioned that way.
Because we're social beings, right? We're hardwired to communicate. We need community. So why is it that as we get older, we become less and less willing to communicate with other people?
I think it goes to the root problem of authenticity. I think in order to be able to communicate with another human or not shy away from it, you have to be willing to do some inner work to accept some things about yourself, to get out of your comfort zone, to face some insecurities. And the only way you can be authentic is to get rid of some of those insecurities, because you do the work. When I say get rid of them, I just mean work on your shit so that you're not projecting it onto everybody. And then there's a lightness that's brought on. You feel a little less heavy inside. And I don't mean literally, I mean, metaphorically, you feel lighter. When you're authentic and you're living authentically, you're able to be vulnerable with other humans, and then you're able to communicate more effectively. And I think, to your point, children are just their raw authenticity, their raw vulnerability. They don't really have a filter, and then we ingrain insecurities in them. We ingrain this fear. We ingrain all of these different attributes that contribute to ineffective communication. I mean,
because this also goes back to another thing. I was actually talking to Tia about this, where we grew up with, like, anytime we did something wrong or anything like that, your parents will like yell at you or XYZ and tell you not to do that. And so that teaches kids to be less confident in themselves and less confident to express their voices. Whereas kids who grow up where their parents are willing to let them talk back to them and engage in that conversation and discourse, those children grow up to be more vocal in the classrooms, in society, just in general, more confident. So it's just like helping, like with kids, right? I feel like it starts at development, right? Like don't shame the kids for being curious. Don't yell at them for asking too many questions. Allow a little bit of leeway for talk back. Don't just force them into being little machines that just listen to what you say no matter how they feel, right? I think that's a huge part of it too. It's like how we're taught to raise our kids. It's like teach them to just listen to what you say, not allow them to express or navigate through those emotions.
Well, I think to your point, I think we got to get to I think we need to start realizing as adults that if you're going to have a child, it's your responsibility to work on yourself. It's your responsibility to work on your emotional intelligence. It's your responsibility to make sure that you can understand your emotions well enough. Okay, perfect example. Most dog owners, let's just say a lot of dog owners, don't know how to properly communicate with their dog. And it's not because the dog is stupid. It's because the human doesn't know how to communicate with the dog.
Yeah.
So then we have a bunch of people that have dogs and they're not being raised correctly. So they don't even understand that the dog wants to go outside or when it's hungry because they can't pick up on those emotions. The same kind of logic applies that if you don't know how to effectively communicate with yourself, if you don't know how to work on your own traumas and you do the inner work, then of course you're naturally going to raise a child with the same traumas that you have and did not fix, and then expect that child to not be a mirror of you. So when you yell at your child, you're really just yelling at yourself because you're angry that your child is doing exactly what you do because they're a mirror. You didn't change that reflection. You kept that reflection going until it blows up, and then you've created a traumatized child who has the exact same issues now, probably generationally, until you go in and do the work. I mean, I'm going to be vulnerable here, talk about my family. I was raised in chaos, and my parents will talk about it. My brothers will talk about it. I was raised in, my parents were 19 when they had me, 20. Did not know how to handle their emotions properly, and then raised me to do the same thing. And over the last, I'm going to say 5 years, we've been on this healing journey. My mom started it through introduction of mushrooms, psilocybin. And then we all, as a collective, as a unit, family unit, started to heal and change the trajectory of what that pattern of handling our emotions looked like. And like night and day, doing the inner work works.
Doing the hard stuff works. It's just hard.
It's just hard. It's the shadow work. It's the stuff that people don't want to talk about because they're too afraid of judgment. We've got to get over that fear.
Dropping that ego. Just understanding like the past mistakes happened in the past and they've already happened and we can learn from them.
Yep.
Don't like shy away from those mistakes.
And I think when people shy away, you don't learn the lesson. And then you keep repeating the same mistake over and over again.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Literally, that's the cycle.
Not where I thought the conversation was going today, but
here we go. Well, I mean, I think it's important, especially as we go into this AI age, the future, like literally what we've seen on TV in a lot of capacity, like this is happening. This is real. And part of this podcast motto, our mission, is to help wake people up to these issues right now. Because if these persist, if we continue to have people that are acting strictly out of insecurities, leading companies out of insecurities, leading other people out of insecurities, projecting onto your children, raising a child as a mirror of a traumatized adult, we are perpetuating a nonstop narrative of pain and an endless cycle that is going to hurt all of humanity because we're collective. We're a species together. And the more we are aligned and understand how to effectively communicate with each other, it could be as simple as a peace sign. It could be as simple as a hello. But the faster we learn that, the faster we unite, the better off we're going to be in this new AI era. And the more we can help people.
Yeah. You know what I'm excited for?
What?
You ever been to like a McDonald's or something and you got that customer?
Of course I've been to McDonald's.
But like in the situation where like that customer is just being outrageous, he's being disrespectful to like the employees and stuff. Once you have like robots on the front desk and he just slaps the customer. It's like, learn how to communicate.
You know what? Can somebody please generate an AI video that is exactly that? Someone at the counter that's being ridiculous at McDonald's, and then a robot just slaps them. That would be hilarious. And also a real possibility.
Oh, yeah, you see the Rizbot in California?
No.
It's like a gay robot that's walking around in California.
That's brilliant. Oh, wait, that's the... Yeah,
it's like I sent it to you on Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking like in China, they're already like deploying like the moving robots and stuff
everywhere.
I think I saw one of a lady like taking a bat to one in like a medical facility because that single robot was in charge of scheduling all appointments and stuff.
Mm.
There's like a video on Instagram where like a lady, I guess she got upset on the robot and just like started bashing it with a bat because that was what was in charge of scheduling appointments. So I guess she got upset at her or something. But yeah, like it's happening and starting to deploy. Like we'll probably start seeing those iRobots in society fairly soon.
Yep.
I think I saw something on like America's Got Talent where they're having like robots come in and dance and stuff for them. So it's slowly starting getting integrated, like just slowly. And the next thing you know, by like 2026, you got full blown robot employees at the front desk now instead of humans.
Okay, so this goes to one of the subjects on the topics on the agenda today, and it's talking about the AI pause debate. That was in, I guess, 2023, 2024, and this is kind of new to me, but it's talking. It says, in 2023, 2024, major tech leaders called for a pause in advanced AI development to assess risk, citing existential threats and misuse. What are your thoughts? Because if you're talking about robots and we're talking about AI and all of the implications that's going to happen, an AI pause kind of feels relevant.
I think we don't have the luxury to pause. I would support pausing it for these big companies. I think as a society, we need to educate ourselves and learn how to develop our own AI. Especially now that these top tech companies now have like government contracts, and you have like even in the military, you've got like Meta employees now that got some like general position or something, where you could be working in the military for 20 years and never reach that level. These guys got appointed automatically just because they're good with AI and they're building AI for the military.
Yep.
Then you got like Grok with like a I don't know how many $1 million contract now, but Grok's like actively trying to, what's it called? Say like, it's like, what's it called? I forget. Like trying to erase, like trying to say that like, what's it called? Nazi Germany didn't happen. Things like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think as a society, we have the luxury to not continue learning about AI at least. Maybe positive development and integration.
Yeah.
Of these big companies until the rest of society catches up and understands the implications of it. But yeah, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one because, my thought when you said until the rest of society picks up.
Yeah.
What the implications could be for America is if we do have a pause and we're already seeing the crash of the dollar and or what is being theorized. And then we see all these, crypto and everything that's coming about, all these advancements from other countries.
It's another part, right? On the global level, like, sure, we could pause it in the U.S., and then you pause it for 1 month. Now some other country is just taking over because AI just moves that fast.
Literally moves that fast. So it feels that while a pause would be great if it was on a global standpoint, I don't believe that that's probably going to happen.
It's too unregulated to even pause it at this point.
It's too unregulated to even pause it. Wow, that's a really good point.
Because there's too many people with too much access to it now.
Yep.
Anyone can go download the Llama model and train it locally now themselves.
Yes.
If you're willing to learn and dive into that, obviously. But I think it's too unregulated at this point to successfully pause AI development and integration.
Which then begs the question, humanity needs to catch up, which means we need to start having conversations like you and I are having to generate an outcome that is positive for humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much more clear we can be, and I know there's other people advocating, but we're not having on TikTok, Instagram, and I know I speak for both of us. We follow AI, artificial intelligence, news, things that are happening on a very regular basis. And I'm not seeing real discussions about ethical AI or equitable AI in terms of integration at all.
Well, there's so many other things. Like, people are already overloaded with problems. Now you're adding ethical AI integration into the stuff that they have to learn to keep up about every day.
It should be the first thing that we talk about. It should be, what does ethical and equitable integration of AI look like? And it's not being talked about, and it should be the first thing that's being talked about. And so now a lot of people are scared of AI because they're like, oh, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to learn AI. Well, you don't really have a choice anymore. You must learn it, or you are going to really. It's not. I'm not. you're gonna hurt yourself. But the reality is, humans need to start really.
What does that path look like, right?
I mean, it goes back to what we were talking about last week, prioritizing. What is our focus? What is actually important to us? We put all this emphasis on our job, and now we're about to lose everyone. Not a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, or it's going to be restructured. We really need to start focusing on what matters to us in life, and then coming together as a species, as humanity, and figuring this shit out. Starting these conversations. I mean, at what point, how much more development in terms of AI is going to happen until humans start having these conversations?
Well, it's like going to the doctor, right? People don't go to the doctor until the problem's already there. People aren't going to start worrying about AI until it actively affects their lives, until they get laid off because their company already implemented that AI agent that does their job.
And it's happening.
It's already happening
now.
I mean, look at what's it called? Like software developers and stuff now are like getting a little antsy because you've got like, I forgot what all these mergers just occurred, but like Windsurf got acquired by
Google.
Was it Google?
Yeah.
Google, Claude and Anthropic came out with, Amazon using Claude and came out with like Kirko, their ID. I forgot what else.
A lot.
But a lot of it's happening where like these LLM companies are picking up these like other companies that were already doing like software development agents and stuff like that. So now there's already this like buzz in software development. Like, is the junior developer like going away? Like, what's happening to that role? Then you've got like the current administration, right? I think Jess said that they're going to replace farm workers with like robots and people on Medicaid or something. It's like, are they like going to replace these white collar jobs and just force people into manual labor now? Or like, what's that going to look like? What's the future looking like for AI development and implementation?
I mean, I've been saying this for a little over a year now, but blue collar, what we consider blue collar jobs, they are going to be now white collar jobs. And I'm putting in the quotation, but the reality is that we're going to value electricians, construction workers, hairstylists, masseurs, yeah, more often, like more, because it's that human interaction. We're going to value human interaction more, and a lot of these jobs.
How long? Because we already have robots walking around. How long until those jobs get replaced?
I mean, I think we're looking at a rollout of 2 decades, but I realistically, we're going to start seeing the implications of this a hell of a lot sooner. And that is my concern around people not having these conversations, because, the internet, social media, all of that, Wi-Fi, the cloud, everything came about over, this certain period of time, let's say 3-4 decades. And now we're at a point in history where AI, the development that happens on a daily basis, is drastically different than anything the internet, a CPU could process. Now we have AI that is developing and changing daily. We have countries that are literally, Saudi Arabia, using it to restructure their government. And it's happening in America. I was testing out Grace yesterday when we were recoding her, and I said, what is one thing that people are not talking about that we should be? The first thing she brought up was the integration of AI into our government system. She said very few people are talking about it, and it's happening rapidly in America.
Yeah, I mean, and then I just saw, I haven't fact checked this yet, but like what's called the government partnering with like AI companies to help surveillance. I'm gonna say help surveillance. Because now you have these AI models that can actually report you to like the local sheriff's office, or they can report you to a XYZ database if you say some XYZ on your Instagram account or your Facebook platform.
Weren't you telling me about like Atlanta surveillance? Was it you?
I think it's you telling me, because
I don't know.
Atlanta's like the most surveyed like city, said in the world, or second to China.
We're second to China, I think. But maybe it was AJC that reported that. But yeah, I believe Atlanta specifically.
The AJC reported that.
That's what it was. The number 2 most surveillance city in the world after China.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you we're being monitored. We have more cameras watching us on a regular basis than any other city in the world. We are a test trial for a surveillance state. That's what's happening right now. It's happening across the country, but Atlanta specifically is testing it out, and we're seeing the implications. Atlanta's growing really fast.
Yeah, and people need to stop coming here, first of all.
Well, that's not going to happen. More people are moving here, and I think it speaks to the economic impact that Atlanta is making and helping and contributing into Georgia's infrastructure. It's wild. It really is wild what we're about to experience, and this surveillance state it's real.
Yeah,
and it's all happening because of AI.
I mean, think about like even before AI, our phones were already listening to us.
Yeah.
So with AI, that just got amplified like a million times. When you accept that you're allowing Siri's AI to like follow commands and access your phone, you're letting them access everything. It's accessing whatever you say, even when you're not talking to Siri. And now with AI, all of that surveillance just gets amplified. Like, I don't know how many times, but
which is why I predict that cell phones will probably be irrelevant in this next decade. I think it's all going to go to glasses soon, and I believe that
little chip.
I don't know. I didn't say. I'm just saying
insert that right into your brain and know exactly what you're thinking all the time. Next, you get a social score pops up right here on your wrist.
Join the conversation, people. This is real. That's a reality.
It's a real possibility.
It's a real possibility, and I think that I'm not.
You say something wrong about America, that social score drops a little point.
You think that? Could that happen?
I feel like it could, yeah. I mean, the technology's already there.
I haven't even thought about that, but you're right.
The technology's already there.
It exists. Whoa. So, theoretically, you talk shit on let's just say your state governor.
Yeah.
The state is watching you.
Yeah,
they don't like it.
They don't like it. All of a sudden, that social score drops, or the sheriff's coming to your house. They're like, "Hey, we heard you say something." Oh, it's not the sheriff; it's the robot sheriff that they've implemented for the police force now. Comes and knocks, gives you a little evaluation.
Dude,
send you to a little reform camp like they do in China.
Let's start talking about this, y'all. We've got to start coming together. We got to start talking about what integration of AI looks like and protecting ourselves, because that makes me incredibly.
That's a lot of doom and gloom, but like, of course, like people are gonna fight back on that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a reality.
It's a reality. It's a possibility, but
yeah,
it depends on what the people allow, what they allow the government to do.
I mean, what are we going to allow the government to do without coming together? They're going to do whatever they want to do if we can't stand united, because divided we fall. And right now we are divided almost entirely across the board. It doesn't matter gender, race, sexuality, religion, job, like literally across the board, we are divided at every single point. So the connecting with other humans is another reason we're having communication problems, because we're so divided, and everything is happening behind the scenes with the government, and humans aren't talking about this. So then we're not talking about it. The government, corporations, and these big, enterprises are implementing AI, surveying us, watching us, listening to us. And we're divided still.
Yeah. And it's a difficult thing here in the US, right? Because not just like, because of our history, right? Our whole infrastructure was built to be divisive.
Right.
For example, like in Atlanta, if you're living in like Cobb County, that's where your whole life was. You probably have no idea, and you never like ventured into like the Beaufort Highway area or ever like engaged like the immigrant community. You probably wouldn't really understand the fears of the current immigrant community. And then once they're gone, like the people over here on this part of town had no idea what was going on in this part of town.
Yep.
That's one, the infrastructure. And then like I've heard this pop up a couple of times where the US is just physically so large, it's hard to organize people. versus like other countries in like Europe. I know like France protests a lot. I hear a lot of protests happen in France.
Love the French.
But like France is also like way smaller than the entirety of the US. So it's easier to mobilize a community when the physical geographic location is also smaller than in the US.
Okay, but I understand that, but we have social media. Let's utilize it. Let's come together, stand united, create a community, form this, mission by humans, by humanity, regardless of like literally no divide. Doesn't matter your gender. Literally, I don't even, at this point, it doesn't even matter your political ideologies. If we don't come together regardless of really anything, I mean, okay, sure. Like if you're a murderer, like if you're like real evil, then,
Right.
I don't know. We need to talk about that. But for the most part, I feel like that's not the case. If we don't start coming together, we are in for a world pain, because I can tell you other people are preparing, and I don't feel like a lot of people are taking it as serious as they should. And we should have these conversations.
Well, then you brought up social media, and then the hard part with social media is even social media is divided in the country, right? Because we were watching this other podcast. It was between, who was it? Forgot his name. He's a talk show host. He's like actively like advocates for things in the government.
Yeah.
I forgot what his name was.
Wait, did you send that one to me?
I sent that one to you. I think it was him and who's the other guy? Trevor Noah.
Oh, yes. That was it was Trevor's podcast.
Oh, it was Trevor's podcast.
Yeah.
Where they're talking
good.
about
Good
how
episode.
like specific media companies will target ads to a specific location and geographical regions, right?
Yeah.
So
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart, there you go.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart and Trevor Noah. It was a really good podcast.
It was.
But like, let's say you've got this one isolated community, maybe in Alabama, and you're targeting a specific message to that community, and then this media company will target a different message to this community. So they're getting divisive messaging. And for example, how do you get someone in like Tennessee to engage with somebody in California when they're getting all this divisive messaging, and then there's huge land gap between them, so they can't go out to a local bar and start talking to each other and actually start verifying this information. Like even social media is divided within the U.S.
Not anymore.
All for profit.
Humanity first. Not anymore. We've created a platform, and our goal is to unify humanity. Humanity first. Come together. Let's talk about these issues. Let's create a community where everyone is on the same playing field. Everyone's voice matters. We lift each other up. We help each other grow and evolve, and then we unite as a unit, as a single force, to demand that this technology and this future is ethical and equitable for everyone.
So when are we coming out with our VR platform?
Soon. Coming to you. I'm not going to put a date. All right. We do have some really cool things that are coming out, though. Very exciting. But yeah, I think we really didn't know what this conversation was going to be like today.
Yeah, it took a turn.
It did take a turn. I think it's very fitting. It's very of the times, if you will. Some of the things that we were, on the agenda, we did not get to.
Let's see.
It says the future you want to help build. That's exactly what we're talking about. We want to help build a future. This is okay. Oh, I wasn't prepared to talk about this. I didn't know if I was going to say this. I'm not really religious. I'm spiritual. So I view the Bible as more of like a metaphor, not literally. I don't read the Bible and think it's literal. I believe it's a message, it's a guide, it's a way to live your life. And the goal is ultimately to love like Jesus. So Jesus is technically the symbol of how we should treat other humans. If you look at the Bible, that's really exactly what it is. And I've made it my goal this past year, 1, to release my ego, but 2, to love like Jesus. How can I show other humans kindness? How can I show myself kindness? How can I love myself so that I can love other people properly? And I think that we really, as a humanity, we really should start evaluating how we live our life. and how we show other humans kindness and empathy and respect and patience. I think we're very quick to judge other people because we're very quick to judge ourselves. I think we're unkind to other people because we're unkind to ourselves. I think we don't love other humans properly because we don't love ourselves properly. And we have this continuation of cycles that are harmful. And when I took a step back, started doing the inner work, said I got to put my ego aside, and really started evaluating how I wanted to treat other humans, how I wanted to interact in terms of humanity, I realized I wanted to love like Jesus. I wanted to be kind. I wanted to show compassion and forgiveness, but also I wanted to help people wake up. I wanted to help people become aware of themselves and their surroundings. And, you know, to the question, the future you want to help build, I want to help build a future that is human-centric, that puts humanity first, human for quality. We have the control, and I'm not saying it's humans versus robots, but / AI, it's humans working together with this technology, but as a unified force. That's what I want.
For good.
For good.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of the younger generations are trying to get. That's like the mentality, at least from the people that I've talked to, right? This message of unity as opposed to like being divisive. Remember Jesus had to flip some tables to get that done.
The first thing that came to my head was Teresa Giudice literally flipping the table from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Tables to get a message across, man.
I mean, I would like that Bible verse. I think it was truth. I think you're referring to truth. When there's honesty and other humans can't handle that, people get defensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll say flipping tables. That was funny, literally. And thank you, Teresa Giudice, for that visual.
But yeah, I mean, to tie it back with AI, like there's gonna be a lot of change. The change is happening now. If there's something that you don't like, now is the time to like start advocating for it. This is gonna take some effort because I know it's hard when you're like working like 1, maybe 2 jobs, 60 hours a week. You get home, you're tired, and you still don't have the resources to live a happy life, and now you have to go out and fight more for what you believe in. It's exhausting, but right now is the perfect time to do it because so much change.
It's really the only time to do it.
So much deregulation is about to happen. And if you don't fight and stand up for what you want the future to look like, somebody else will, and they're going to do it for their own beliefs and for their own profits and for whatever they want.
You just said it. If you don't stand up and fight for what you believe, somebody else is going to do it. Now is the time to stand up and demand a future that you want, that you believe in, that is unified and not divided. I mean, the time is now. It's happening. It's I don't want to say do or die, but it's do or die. I mean, theoretically.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, maybe, but.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know where to start either, like, there's a lot of power in getting a $20, like, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever large language model you trust the most, getting a upgraded version where you can just prompt it indefinitely. Yep. There's a lot of power to that I don't think a lot of people understand quite yet how powerful these machines are.
I agree. And ChatGPT I personally like that it saves the history because then I can pick up the conversation exactly where I left off, and it understands exactly where we're at. Gemini a few times has not recalled the conversation. So
there's been a lot of weird stuff going on with a lot of these models recently.
Yeah,
I think it's all the mergers and the developments going on. Things are changing, but sometimes they're hit or miss. But
find a model you like.
Find a model you like. I do enjoy ChatGPT for my personal everyday use.
Same.
Obviously when I'm developing, it's like almost strictly Gemini and Claude. But ChatGPT is pretty good. I still enjoy the user experience with Chat.
I mean, we started our company using ChatGPT and then evolved to other models, but
and then everybody else started coming out with crazy models.
Yeah. So it's definitely been an evolution, and even within a few months. But yeah, same. to your point, if you're not using or paying for it, I know $20 can be a lot for some people, and I get that.
Even the free versions are really good.
But the free, yeah, exactly. And if you
Just get like 3 different accounts. Get one on Gemini, one on Chat, one on Claude.
literally have multi, yeah, there we go.
And just max out those free tiers as much as you can.
Yeah, utilize it though.
Because the free tiers are very generous still.
Yeah, and they give really good. I mean, it can be used in a lot of ways, in a lot of meaningful ways. But yeah, cool conversation. I didn't know that
we bounced around a bit.
Yeah,
bounced around a bit.
But it was yeah. I think it's to the core of who Humanity First, what we are, and what we're trying to accomplish is really unifying this country and bring some healing that is so desperately needed. But I think do that, we've got to stand united. We've got to stand united, and that's not always easy to put your ego aside and say, I don't want to join somebody else because of whatever. I disagree. I think at this point we're beyond that. This is, I don't want to say life or death, but life or death, So it's coming together for a purpose that's way bigger than us.
Yeah. And
again, united we stand. But I think that's it for me today. I enjoyed this conversation, sir.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good talk.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you, I guess, like in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, we started off with once a week. Now we're doing every 2 weeks.
We got to get back to weekly.
We're trying. I mean, my God, it's producing content and building this out is certainly a lot of work, but it's been fun and worth it. It's, I think, also part of, as a startup, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have a platform to discuss your product. It's the future. But we are going to try to get back to weekly. For now, we'll probably see you in 2 weeks. And remember, when we lift each other up, we all rise. Stay positive, people.